Hey guys, welcome back to Ready Facts. Today we have another amazing story on Ready Facts. My ex-wife is getting in my head and making me go crazy. Backstory: my wife and I have been together for 14 years. We lived together in Seattle. She is from New York and I'm from Seattle. In 2020, her father was getting up there in age and his health was declining, so she made the decision to go back to New York to help take care of him. I wasn't happy about that. I gave her a hard time leading up to the move and during it. When we arrived in New York, I was much worse and distanced myself from her. She didn't like that. I didn't want to be there so much that when I'm going back to Seattle every 3 to 4 months and spending 4 to 5 weeks there at a time. She didn't like that either. When I am in Seattle, I am typically every busy. My day consists of waking up, go to work, go to the gym, after work go home, shower, eat dinner, go to bed. By the time I'm settling in and getting ready for bed, it is around 9 p.m. With a 3-hour time difference, that would make it midnight out there and barely give me any time to talk to my wife at all. Again, she didn't like that. One day, she sat me down and told me that she wanted to separate. When I asked why, she cited the reasons I just listed. At this point, I am devastated. I realized that my selfish actions led to me losing the most important thing in my life, my marriage, and the guilt of that is eating me up inside. Here is where the abuse starts. We went to Seattle together in August. One day she told me that her friend is pregnant and she's staying over there to help take care of her. 3 to 4 days comes around and I'm wondering where she is and texting her, calling her, begging her to come home. A few days later, she finally comes home and I was so overwhelmed that I hugged her and cried. We go to California together and spend about a week there and come back to Seattle. She says she needs to take care of her friend again and leaves for another week. One night, I was in the living room watching TV and she was sleeping in the bedroom. I got thirsty and didn't feel like going to the kitchen to get something to drink. The bedroom is closer to me than the kitchen, and my wife always has a bottle of water on the nightstand next to her, so I go over there instead. Her phone was out in the open and I see the messages between her and another guy. I find out where she really was while she was gone. When I confront her about it, she told me that the attention that I wasn't giving to her, this guy happened to come along and was able to give it to her. It hurts not only knowing where she had been all this time, but she saw my emotions when she was gone and when she came back, but still chose to leave again. One night we were having dinner, and I was talking to her trying to convince her not to separate. This was before I found out that she was cheating. Keep in mind that I was consumed by the guilt of what I had done. She said that she was not changing her mind and kept telling me everything I did that led to this. Throughout dinner, she kept telling me that I destroyed my marriage and it was my selfish actions that caused everything to fall apart, and she hopes that I learn from this. Remember that I was already upset as is, but everything she said just made it worse. I completely lost my appetite and couldn't even finish my dinner. Soon after, I move out of New York and back to Seattle. Even though we're separated, we agreed to end on good terms and hope to remain friends. Our anniversary is coming up and we talked about maybe flying her out to Seattle to do something nice. She says that while she is out there, she might as well go see the other guy too. I asked her if she is serious and she responded that it would be a wasted trip if she flies all the way out to Seattle without seeing him. Obviously, I am completely offended by what she said. I told her don't bother, and when she asked why, that offended me even more. I couldn't believe that she doesn't see why that would be considered disrespectful, and I had to explain that to her. Obviously, she gets mad and we take a break from speaking. A few days later we talk again and we eventually agreed that I go to New York to celebrate our anniversary. I go in there and I notice that all of the pictures that has me in it are taken down. Instead, they are replaced with pictures of her new guy, and they are everywhere. When we were in California, we were in the car and I told her to put on whatever music she wants on. All of a sudden she puts on these random love songs and she normally doesn't listen to them. I commented that she normally doesn't listen to this type of music and she says that she feels like listening to it now. This was the same music that she listened to when she picked me up at the airport in New York, and this is the same music that she listened to when she took me to the airport. Come to find out that this was a playlist that her new guy had made for her. When I told her that this isn't okay, she said that these are just songs that she likes and it's not a big deal. I responded that no, they're not just songs. They are songs that obviously remind her of him, and I'm disgusted that she not only has been playing them while she took me to and from the airport, she played them when we were on vacation together in California. I eventually made her shut it off, but she gave me a hard time about it. It was about an hour-long ride to the airport, so we had a lot of time to talk and discuss things. She admitted that when we were in Seattle together that curiosity got the best of her and she just had to see what happened if she met the other guy. She said that during the time they spent together, he treated her so well that she finally felt what it was like to be happy. She commented that she looks forward to finally being happy because of the way that this new guy will continue to treat her. She also said that if I truly love her, I should want her to be happy. At this point, I feel like I am being belittled. She is rubbing him in my face, and it is making me feel insignificant. It makes me feel like I wasn't able to support her. It makes me feel like I'm nothing. I have been talking to her older brother and sister throughout this whole ordeal. I don't know where I would be without them, but they have been there for me and supported me at my lowest point. I found out from her sister that she was planning on coming to Seattle in December and probably wasn't planning on telling me or seeing me. When we lived in New York together, she came with me maybe every 8 to 9 months or more. She was just here in August and all of a sudden she wants to come 4 months later? Also, when we were planning her coming to Seattle for our anniversary, her plan was coming to Seattle for a week. Our anniversary is on a weekend, so she was planning on getting that out of the way and spending the rest of the week with the other guy. At this point, it is very evident where her priorities are. Even though we are not together, we have also been married for 14 years. This guy doesn't have nearly the history that her and I have, and it hurts watching me being pushed to the wayside for somebody that she's only known for a little over a year. I would also think that if she wanted to continue to remain friends, she'd at least want to see me. At this point, I don't think I can do it anymore. Even though we initially agreed to remain friends throughout this whole thing, she isn't even treating me like one. She is finding all of the parts that are emotionally and psychologically sensitive and just poking at it. It is almost like she is finding some sort of sick joy in doing this to me. I may not have treated her the best for the past few years, but everything I described above was just in the past 2 months alone and, in my opinion, completely overshadow everything that I have done to her. She told me that she loves me and she will always love me, but this behavior isn't love, it's evil. It's gotten to the point where I have already made an appointment to seek a therapist and find professional help. I don't even want to be in Seattle any longer. Everything here reminds me of everything that happened. My wife, her cheating on me, her coming here and not even bothering to care to see me. As much as I would like to keep her in my life, I believe that it may be best for my own sake to cut her off. I hate that I'm letting her consume me as much as she has, but I still really care about her and I always will. I just can't believe that somebody that supposedly cares about me is treating me like this. I also found out that she made her new relationship Facebook official since June of 2021. I was with her June of 2021. Her whole family knows this. Her dad also ended up passing November of 2021. I was with her that night. Her whole family was there with us. And she marks it as of June of 2021? What kind of reaction did she think that she was going to get? Thank you so much for reading through all of this, and I just want to know your thoughts here.